Hola bosses, welcome back to the channel. So guys, in today's video we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful but simple button up top with kind of a stylish knot neckline with cargo pocket. If that sounds like something you're interested in, do make sure to keep on watching, and let's get started with today's video. So yeah, I'm making use of this beautiful floral fabric, as you can see, and here for my size I'm making use of 2 yards. So I'm going to start by working on the front pattern first. I already have my fabric folded in two. So the length of the top I intend making measures 19 inches. But yeah, like for this top, it has like a portion from the back that overlaps to the front towards the shoulder. So I'll be taking away 1 inch for that, giving me 18, adding half inch of shoulder sewing allowance, then adding 2 inches of hemming allowance. All that in total gives me 20.5 inches, and I have my fabric right here measuring 20.5 inches, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and to mark off 1 inch from the center of the front. Yeah, that's particular the portion where the button is going to be, like the button flap. Is that what it's called? I don't know, sorry. But yeah, the portion where we are going to be inserting the button. So go ahead and connect it together with a straight line like so. And then the next thing will be to go ahead and mark off the half inches for the sewing allowance. That's for our shoulder joining allowance. So I'm going to go ahead now and just mark 7 inches for the chest line. I'm going to be alternating this later. This just so I have like a guide. Later I'm going to change it to basically rolling a straight line right there. Then the next thing will be to insert my shoulder. For this I'm making use of 15 inches. 15 divided by 2 gives 7.5, but I'm making use of 8.5 inches for sewing allowance. So you can see that I place my tape at that 1 inch mark and not from the beginning. I roll a straight line right there. And for this I'm going to making use of 1.5 inches for the shoulder slant. Connect the shoulder in a slanted form, and now I go ahead to insert my actual shoulder line. So my chest line is supposed to be measuring 8, but I'm marking 7 because of the 1 inch that comes from behind and overlaps. Does that make sense? So yeah, go ahead now to just connect it like so to create my armhole. Next thing will be to insert my bust measurement. My bust measures 34. 34 divided by 4 gives 8.5. So place my tape right there at that 1 inch mark. Mark 8.5. I'll be adding 1 inch just so it's not too tight fitted, and adding 1.5 inches of sewing allowance. While for the waist, I'm just going to take it at the total measurement of the bust, and it was measuring 11. So thinking that I don't want mine to be like just perfectly straight, I'm just going to be going in by 1 inch from the measurements we had from the bust. So marking 10 inches right there, just so the top has kind of a shape to it. Go ahead and connect the bust to the waistline like so. The next thing now will be to work on the neckline. So for the neckline, I'm making use of 2.5 inches. Yeah, so yours can be wider, depends on the width of your neckline. For the depth, I'm making use of 3 inches for now. So one thing with shirts is that the armhole and the neckline can be alternated if it's not up to what you wanted. Go ahead to connect it like so. Go ahead now and cut this out, cutting all through to the shoulder, but I won't be cutting the neckline now until I have done that of the back. So this is for the front piece. Now to work on the back piece, I have my fabric right here. So for the back piece, it's going to be staying exactly at that 1 inch mark right there. It's not going to be like placed on the same width as that of the front. Does that make sense? So basically here, take the front piece and place onto the back, but you can see that the back and the front aligns at that 1 inch mark that I marked on the front. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, remember we said for the turn up from the back to the front measures 1 inch. So 1 inch from the back, 1 inch for the front, and then half inch of sewing allowance gives 2.5 inches in total. So I'm just going to go ahead now and make use of my tape and just mark 2.5 inches above the shoulder of the front, just so I still maintain that slanted shoulder that I had initially on the front. Go ahead and connect it to the straight line and cut it out. And now I'm going to go ahead and overlap it onto the front. That's fold the shoulder over that of the front, but ensuring that it overlaps with at least half inches in. Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead now and just carve out the neckline for the back, connect it together like so. It's kind of looking a bit weird, but when I'm cutting it, I'm going to like give it a fine shape. Yes, so the depth of the neckline, I want to make use of 4.5 inches. Yes, so I'm just going to go ahead now and just increase it. Like I said, your neckline, your shoulder, and your armhole can be alternated when making a shirt. Yeah, and now we have our exact 8 inches for the chest line that I wanted initially. You can see, right? Yeah, so go ahead and cut the neckline, ensuring you're cutting the neckline only on the front piece. Ensure you raise the front piece up so you don't mistakenly cut that of the back. And then you also go ahead and cut the sides following the same pattern we had on the front. And you notch our shoulder point just so we know where our sleeve is going to be. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just like give that back like a fine shape, just so it's not like pointed, and just separate the front open. Yeah, so now I'm just going to go ahead now and measure around my armhole, and it measures 11 because we'll be needing this when cutting out the sleeve. So I have my fabric right here folded in two, and I'll be cutting both sleeves together. The length of the sleeve I intend making measures 8 inches, adding half inch for sewing allowance, giving 8.5, and adding 2 inch of hemming allowance gives 10.5 inches. So mark 10.5 inches right there, roll a straight line right there, and then just come down by 3.5 inches and just create like your sleeve cap. And then I go ahead and measure around to ensure that I have the 11 inches that I wanted initially, and I had exactly 11 inches. So for those of you that are curious, the width of the fabric is 10 inches on fold. So I'm going to go ahead now and fold my sleeve up just so I fold like the allowance I give for hemming. So ensuring that it's 2 inches. And then I go ahead to insert my round sleeve measurement. My round sleeve measures 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, adding 1.5 inches of sewing allowance and then connecting it together like so. And then go ahead and cut it out and also notch the top right there. All that is left is just go ahead now and just fold it in two and sew it up basically. For the cargo pocket, I want to measure 4.5 inches in depth and 4 inches in width. So yeah, 4.5 inches in depth. I'm going to be adding 2 inches of hemming allowance, like to hem the top. That gives 6.5, and then adding half inch to hem the bottom to be able to sew it. That gives 7 inches. So I have my fabric measuring 7 inches, and for the width, I want it to be measuring 4 inches in width. Adding half inch on both sides gives 5 inches, like so. Then for the fabric to create like the side, because like it's a cargo pocket, I have it measuring 2 inches in width. It should just be as wide as long as possible to go round the pocketing basically. And I have my fabric right here folded in two, and it's measuring 2.5 inches. This is to create like the cap for the pocketing, that's like the cover up for the pocketing. So fold it to the wrong side like so, sew the sides up, and then turn it inside out. I'm going to be iron interfacing all the fabrics I'm making use of for the cargo pockets only. Yeah, iron interfacing onto them. The next thing now will be to go ahead and cut out the fabric. I'm using to turn the neckline and like the button portion of the front. So yeah, place my fabric, my front pattern onto the fabric like so, and basically go ahead and cut out the neckline exactly all through to the shoulder like so, and also the front. Then get rid of it and just cut out the shape you want for the interfacing. I'm just going to call it like an interfacing. Cut out the shape you want for the fabric you're using to create the turn out or the turn up. So I'm basically just connecting mine like so. Go ahead and cut it out. Doing the same thing also for the back portion, placing your fabric onto it like so, cutting out the exact same shape you have on the neckline at the shoulder. But for the back, I'm just going to be making the fabric from like a cuff, just something small, nothing serious, just basically shaping it like so. Yeah, so that's it. So basically make use of that to turn the neckline. I went ahead and I iron interfacing onto the fabric I'm using to create the turnout. So place it onto your front pattern like so, turn the neckline and also that portion down. You're doing the same thing for both sides of the front and also for the back, making use of that fabric to turn the neckline inside out. After I was done this, what it's looking like, I've already joined one shoulder of the front and the back. I just wanted to show you guys how I did that to achieve this neat finish. So yeah, to achieve this, you basically place your fabric right sides facing each other like so. So yeah, remember that fabric we made use of for the turn out of the front. Yeah, so you lift it up and then turn it to the other side, just so the back pattern is basically sandwiched in between the front pattern and the fabric we used to create the interfacing. Does that make sense? So yeah, just place it like so, then use that to turn it to the other side, just so the back stays in between the front pattern and the interfacing, and go ahead and join your shoulder. And after you're done with that, I've gone ahead to hem my sleeve, and this is what it's looking like. I'm just going to go ahead now, attach the sleeve to the top, ensuring that both notched points of the sleeve and that of the top aligns together, and then just go ahead and sew the sleeve all around the armhole of the top. And after I was done, this is what it was looking like, looking so beautiful, looking so pretty. So yeah, these are supposed to be straight, but yeah, while I was sewing mine, I just like, nah, I wanted to have it, give it like this stylish notched collar effect, even though it does not have a collar. So yeah, about my last tutorial video where I made like a green and white two-piece set, you all wanted a tutorial on the white, that's for the notched collar top. Yeah, the reason why I didn't drop a tutorial, sorry, was because I forgot that the fabric was white, and I went ahead and I made use of like a white chalk to draft it out, and it was not clear. But if you guys will still want me to post a tutorial on that, state that in the comment section and I'll be recreating one for you. So yeah, go ahead and just hold those portions where our buttons is gonna be, then turn it to the wrong side. And can you take a moment to just appreciate how neat the inside finishing of this top really is? I made use of my interlocker, or is it soldier, what is it called? So I made use of my interlocker to like just weave all those edges, so I don't have any like piece of fabric frailing, and yeah, it looks so neat. The next thing will be to go ahead now and just sew along the sleeve, from the sleeve all through to the bodies. Repeat the same thing on both sides based off the measurements we had, just sew it off by 1.5 inches. Yeah, and after you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and hem the ends of the top all round. So after I was done, this was looking like, look like how this top looks so beautiful. So yeah, for the pockets, I've gone ahead to iron my interfacing. I went ahead to like fold all the necessary areas I needed to fold. I actually made two, but then I wasn't sure if I wanted the two. So now to attach this, you fold the first edge of your pocket just so that part is neat. You're going to stitch it down though. Then you go ahead and you just sew. Remember, we have already folded this fabric in by like half inches, right? So just sew it all around. When you get to that pointed point, sorry, kind of have to like bend it a bit, sew. Then when you get here, you cut off your excesses, hem the ends, and just join it together. That's basically it. So yeah, I'm just basically marking the position that I want the pocketings to be, marking 9 inches right there, and yeah, from the middle of the top I want it to be 2.5 inches, marking it right there. So, and I'm basically just making use of the pocketing itself to like mark the shape of the part where I'll be attaching it. Does that make sense? Just as also have like an exact shape of the pocketing, just so when I want to attach it, it's easy for me. You're just marking the exact shape onto the top. And yeah, when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead now and attach the pocketing onto that shape that I have right there. So I'm basically just like ensuring I know that point that's like pointed, and then just like marking it just so it aligns also on the top itself. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead now, since already folded, just follow that fold and just sew the pocketing all around that marked point that I had. So whenever you get to that part that is like pointed, you kind of have to like do a little bit of like manipulation, sew it all around, and when you are done, you kind of just sew the top portion in a way that it just stays down by like half inch in at that portion. Basically, that's it. And the next thing we need to attach the cover, that's the cap. So yeah, to attach the cap, so yeah, I actually wanted to attach two pocketings. What do you guys think about these two pocketings? Because I don't understand. Like I wasn't feeling the two pocketings, but if you think it's going to be cute, say it in the comment section and then I'll be attaching it back ASAP. To attach the cap, just place it like so, stitch it, and then you just sew it up. And after I was done, this is what the top was looking like, looking so pretty. Like it looks so cute. So I actually paired it up with a flared skirt that has like a pocketing. I have tutorial on the channel on how to cut and sew a flared skirt last a full cycle skirt. I'll be leaving the link to the tutorial in the description box below. You can do well to check that out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, do not forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. You can also do it to share this video with friends and family who are interested. Thank you once again and bye bye.